All right, Lucas, fifth fight with Bellator. I guess, like, how would you describe the last 2 years of your career? Like, has it just been sort of a whirlwind being with Bellator and starting off with them?
I mean, it's something exciting. It's something that I appreciate a lot, and I appreciate because I know a lot of other guys that weren't able to start with Bellator. So it's not necessarily a whirlwind, but I think it became a little increasingly intense with COVID and everything like that. But it's something I've been able to handle and that I've been excited about.
You're coming off a win against Andrew Salas. Is your first decision win as a professional fighter after 3 finishes. Was it almost better that you had the experience of going a full 15 in there?
Yeah, I mean, I was super happy with 15. I wasn't even kind of tired. Like, I felt great afterwards. I felt great during, and I was happy to be able to do 15 rounds, just to be able to, or 15 minutes, just to know that I could do 15 minutes, just to know I could do 3 rounds and feel so good afterwards after having such an active performance. And yeah, I mean, it was a ton of fun. I learned a lot from it.
What is your confidence level like right now? I mean, you just turned 21 years of age. You're undefeated. You're a highly touted prospect, multiple world titles in jiu-jitsu, and you're still like 7-8 years away from your physical prime. Like, what does that do for your confidence so young in your career?
My confidence is high, but I try and keep a level head about it. I'm not walking off every fight asking for the belt and trying to fight AJ and Pitbull. While I'm confident, I'm realistic in where I think I stand currently and where I would like to be, and I just try and stick to being mildly humble and sticking to the trajectory that I'm on in the division.
You don't hear that too often in MMA. Where does that all come from? That sort of humbleness, that sort of realistic approach to combat sports?
I think it comes from 7 to 8 years of competing in jiu-jitsu and wrestling, but not winning every single match ever. I lost my very first match in everything besides this, and didn't have an athletic start in jiu-jitsu and in wrestling. I had a very rough start in both. And so I think not just having a 6-7 year winning streak, you learn that there's levels to everything, and that you have to eventually get there in due time.
Thoughts on Matthew Skibicki? Good start to his career. He's a pretty streaky fighter. Won his first 4. He's coming in on a 3-fight skid. But are you expecting him just to come out firing guns blazing and just try to take that hype that you built for yourself, or do you think you'll have more of like a meticulous, calculated approach to the fight?
I mean, looking on paper, looking at his previous fights, he's very active. He's got a high pace, and he's always really, really high pace. Even in his losses, he didn't look bad. He was really keeping a good high pace. He was working his game plan up until he had lost decisions and whatnot. And so I think, if he sticks to his game plan, if he tries to do what he does, we're going to get going right off the bat. If he decides to switch it up, a lot of my other opponents did, then we'll see that as it may. But, I think he's just going to try and come out with his pace and his game plan, and I'm going to have to run with it.
Are you hoping for that?
Kind of, yeah.
Why?
Get things going. I mean, less of a feeling out period, less like staring at each other for 3 minutes trying to figure each other out. My last guy, Andrew Salas, his other fights was like that. He tried to do it with me and couldn't pull the trigger. And I thought it was weird that he couldn't pull the trigger. He pushed the pace. He pushed me right up to the fence, and he couldn't throw and couldn't shoot, and like stalled. And his coaches were yelling at him to throw, and he wouldn't throw. I have a feeling that this guy's probably watched that and said, "All right, do that, but throw." And I'm hoping that that's the plan.
So not only are you a fighter, I saw that you were what you call an experimental artist. Is that? I mean, I looked at your Instagram page, the art page. Like, for those who wouldn't know what experimental art is, I mean, it seems pretty obvious in the title, but like, how do you define it?
I mean, let me switch into a former graphic design student here for a minute. No, I mean, it's just a big fancy word for I can use Photoshop. While I was fighting, I was in school. I was in college for like graphic design, communication design, working with businesses on logos and things like that, and still sell tons of art on the side just for the heck of it. And it's really just like augmented. It's Photoshop. It's things that you couldn't take like a picture of or something. I couldn't just like sit down and draw. Things that require Photoshop, but not like a poorly put together meme, I guess. I don't know. There's a lot of different ways to describe it.
Are you going to continue to keep diving into that as
your
fight career progresses?
Yeah. It's something that keeps me busy, like the gym keeps me busy. fighting keeps me busy. Thinking about fighting keeps me busy. But I think it's important to have things outside of that can keep you occupied. That way I'm not sitting at home all morning, all night, just eating myself up about the fight coming up. It's something to just take your mind off it, and something to keep you busy, keep my hands moving while I'm not throwing anything. And so it's just it's a fun hobby, especially if I'm not going to stay in school for it. I might as well keep messing around with it in the meantime.
So how do you create your next work of art in the Bellator cage on Friday?
Hopefully with high level jiu-jitsu, high level grappling. I would like to display, the striking that I've been working on and the wrestling I've been working on. But, in reality, I think my game plan is going to stick to, and I think it's no secret what that is. And I just want to get my work done.